going to try this again shortly. I'm going to see if I can like get back in there. And hang on there, everyone. It's the old stream still going. It looks like. So I can still get into the new. It still says that the old one's going. That was so weird. Sorry about that. 10 Man Dave are here. Right on. That was so weird. And it still shows like the stream is still running. The old one. How long is that going to run? That was so strange. I've never got kicked out of my own stream before. But the weird part was I was able to go in and still be in the chat. But I couldn't rejoin the video. Like I thought the iPad died because it just went black. Oh boy. Now Mike says, well, just in time to say I got to go back to work. Take care. Right on, Mike. Hair Dude says, what did you do? I don't know, man. That was just so weird. Screen went black and then it popped back up and like I could watch the stream but and comment, but I couldn't. I don't know. Dang interwebs. Dave says, I thought it was me. I was driving around running an errand. Nope, wasn't you, Dave. I don't know what the heck it was, but something went awry. Who knows? Who knows? But the weird thing was I could still chat. Adela says it's still streaming now. Really? So now I have 2 streams going on at once? Is that? Sorry, guys. If you happen to be watching this on the old stream, I don't know how to end it. It just blanked out. But there's a new one that I just started. So this is weird. Wendy says, darn internets. I know. The Hair Dude says, you upset the gods of algorithms. What did I do? That's the worst part. I don't even know what I did. It just said, nope. Oh, boy. You know what? See, now my timer's all messed up. So I got to keep an eye on that. I never even got to what I'm working on this week. I'm gonna grab it real quick and show you. So, kind of one of those projects, you know how when you get something on your brain, you kind of just need to tackle it, or maybe not. But the way my brain works, when I get a project, something that I feel like I need to address or I need to work on, it's always lagging in the back of my head. So until I get it done, that's going to bug me. So I'm working on another guitar project. Remember my binding jig that I did? This thing is super cool. I've identified a few issues with this thing that I'm taking care of, and we're going to fix, and we're going to make the Mark II version of the binding tower. It's not going to look really any different for the most part, but there's 4 things that after using this I want to improve upon, and so that's what I'm working on this week. 3D printing a bunch of drill guides, for drilling all the holes in here. Actually, the print's probably done by now, and just making a few improvements, because like I said when I built this, I want to release a set of sort of plans, so that if you guys want to build one, I'll have the resources that I used at least to build this one, but I wanted to make these changes, so that's what I'm working on right now. We're gonna make this plate a little smaller. We're going to make this plate a little smaller. We're going to basically change the size of this extrusion, mainly because I don't know if I can show you this very well. There's very little engagement between this size of extrusion that I used and these bearings. So I'm gonna use a size smaller extrusion to get a little better bearing engagement with those slots. Redesigning this top cap because, well, there's nothing that holds it on. So we're adding some of that, and we are, let's see here if I can get that back in there. You can see, you know, if I lay this down, that spring, retraction spring, always pulls this thing up. So we're going to add some sort of a mechanism to hold this thing in place, which really makes it for better storage. Because right now, if I lay this down, the router springs off. It's kind of awkward to store. So not a super difficult project, but I have been spending a ton of time redesigning new parts or new drilling jigs and the whole new parts for this. So that's the plan. I'm going to shoot to have that done by this weekend, but I've had to spend a lot of time at the 3D printer redoing, testing, prototyping pieces. But that's what I'm working on right now. We're going to improve this thing, and then I'm going to put everything together in a little package, you know, a little digital package with the files, STLs, and all that stuff. So hopefully maybe that'll be helpful to somebody. That's what I'm working on. Tanmay says, maybe that potential scam person hacked your account. Oh, great. Throw this thing out the window. Henry says, my question broke the stream. Hair Dude says, put a pin in for storing it. My drop saw has a pin to push it in to keep the saw head down for storage. Funny you should mention that. This is one of those little push spring dealios. So I got several different sizes that I'm going to play around with. But yeah, this will, I actually prototyped it on this one. I had a little bracket right here to where this would, I could lock it up, or there's another hole I drilled in here too, which would lock it down. It's going to go somewhere, it's going to get mounted somewhere in this area. The only thing I don't like about this one is it's a little short. I'd like it to stick out just a little more, so I tried a few different sizes, but something like that so that it'll, you know, you just drill a small hole and the little pin engages in there to lock it in place. Yeah, trying to store that thing with the spring, always wanting to extend it, is not great. So yes, this is kind of one of the ones I'm messing around with. The other ones, I got like 2 other sizes to try. That's the plan. Just a simple locking pin just to hold it in place. Tanmay says, how do you get motivated on the days where you don't feel like working on projects or anything? Also, fear losing a created routine. This question applies for all aspects of life. Tanmay, that is a great question, because I know, you know, just because I share a lot of what I do online doesn't mean I don't encounter that. You know, we all do. We all have days like that where we're just kind of like, you know, maybe you didn't sleep well and you're kind of tired, or maybe you're, you know, just for some reason you're not feeling it that day, or maybe you got something else on your mind that, you know, that takes it away from, you know, takes your mind off of what you need to do. While I am not an expert at all on, you know, that sort of, you know, I don't know what you'd call it, motivational, whatever. There are a few things that I try to do that really to try to help stay on track. You know, because like I said, I don't wake up every single day and go, woohoo! You know, I get to jump out in the shop, which is amazing, and I'm so thankful that I get the chance to do that. But you know, some days we just have, you know, that just happens, right? We're human. One thing that I like to try to do, and it worked really good for a while. I kind of got away from it for a little bit, but I'm trying to get back to it, and that's just writing stuff down. You know, throughout the day, if I think of, oh, okay, there's stuff that I need to work on for tomorrow. Really, a lot of times it's stuff in the evening, right? I'll be thinking, oh, I got to get to working on that. I'll just write it down and say that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I just keep a little scratch paper, basically, you know, near the coffee pot. So, you know, I'll just write it down. and I'll have 4 or 5, whatever, however many things I really want to get done the next day. I just write it down. Then in the morning, I'm getting my coffee. It's right there. I can kind of look at it, and then then I'll sit and have my coffee in the morning before everybody wakes up, and I take my daughter to school and all that. I can kind of start thinking. So at least those things are in my head that I need to get done for that day. Another thing is, if I find myself at a spot where I'm kind of, maybe I'm feeling stuck on a project, or right now I'm waiting on 3D printed parts to finish, so I can't do anything on this yet until those parts are done. And sometimes I'll just take a few minutes and just pick up. I'll just clean. I'll take out the trash. I'll sweep up. Break out the shop vac. And sometimes I'll just go through and look at the materials and things that I have on hand, and just kind of take a mental inventory of stuff like that. But really, on those days where you're just kind of not feeling it for whatever the reason, I always try to find something that can help move things forward, right? I don't know if that makes sense. But even if I'm not feeling it, maybe I'm waiting for parts to arrive and there's just not something I can work on at that moment. I always try to figure out what can I do to move things forward. Maybe I need to just spend a little time at the computer and design a project or something. And you know what? Really, there's some days where none of that kind of stuff really helps. And I'll just sit down and grab my guitar for a little while and just play. Maybe I'll sit out on the porch. And sometimes, it's okay to unplug. And that's kind of the hard part for me, to be quite honest with you. My brain is always going, trying to, figure out what I need to do next. What do I need to be working on? What's next? Get stuff done. I'm a very, there's probably a term for it, but I like to be productive in whatever I'm doing, whether it's in the shop or I'm trying to get something done around the house, or, I guess that's how I'm wired. I just want to be productive, but there are times where you need to unplug a little bit, and it's okay, as long as you don't stay there. I think, if you just need to take, a couple hours or whatever and just play some guitar, listen to some music, go for a walk. But as long as you can get back at it, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think the problem lies with, if you stay there, right? If you always stay, well, I got to unplug, and then it turns into days and weeks and all that thing. But I don't know if any of that's helpful. But I try to stay busy. Even on the days I don't feel like it, I'm just always trying to look at what can I do to move something forward. Wendy says, does the binder float with the tapered sides? Yes, it does. So this thing, I have, I got the donut, the old binding donut. So this guy rides, this would ride on the top or the back, wherever you're routing the binding channel. And this thing, it floats pretty well. I've got one of those constant force springs right here to take a little bit of the weight off it. So that, there's enough downward weight that it holds it down on the top, but this constant force spring kind of takes a little bit of that off there, and it worked great. I tested this out with a friend of mine when I first put it together. He really liked it, and we routed some channels on a body he had, and this is also the one that I used on my acoustic, and it works great. I mean, it's basically like the ones you can buy from the other place online that's really expensive. Only this one is, well, it's my iteration of it. But yeah, it works awesome. It works awesome. I also have like a jig that holds the body, so you can keep everything nice and level. And that, I think, is kind of the key to getting everything square and straight. But yeah, I think with a couple changes that I'm going to be making to this, I think it's going to make it even better. just removing a tiniest little bit more weight. Actually, here's the new plate. So I don't know how well this is going to show up. So I'm making it just a little bit wider than the router base. And then the router will sit just a hair forward too. I don't know why I put this back. It's probably at least a ½ inch or so more. I can scoot this up, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really happy with this, but I have discovered, like I mentioned, there's a few things that I think will make it even better. And really, what I would like to do is once I get this done, I'd like to, put them up maybe for a pre-sale or something, and maybe see if anybody's interested in buying a few of these, and just kind of making a batch of them. That's my goal, really. That's what I'd like to do. See if I can sell some of these, which would be kind of cool. Build, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 10. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's gonna want one or not, but once I get this together, then I'll work up a cost, and we'll throw it up on the website. So if you're interested in one, let me know. Wendy says the great thing about woodworking is that every minute of doing a project is learning. Yes, it is, and that's a big thing for me, really. I love learning new stuff. Maybe it's a new technique for cutting a certain thing. Maybe it's working with a new medium, right? Learning 3D printing, that was new. Learning the CNC, figuring that out, that's new. Leather working, pretty much anything. It doesn't even have to be, for me anyway, it doesn't have to be just woodworking. Yes, a lot of what I do involves working with wood, but for me, if I can learn something, a new way to do something, a different way to do something, a different material, a different technique, that is huge for me. Like, I want to be able to know, how to make anything out of anything, and I'll never get there, right? But that's the cool part, is that your journey you can't stop, really. I don't know. Tanmay says, wow, thank you for being so transparent. You're becoming one of my favorite YouTuber already. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I don't, if you've seen any more than, if you've been watching the channel for a little while, I don't have a problem sharing mistakes, because we all make them, right? You see a lot of videos that are super polished, and everything always turns out 100%, and every aspect is perfect. But I think we all know, in the real world, that's not what happens, right? It's real easy to edit that stuff out, and cut past things. But if I screw something up, I like to share that stuff, because that's what happens to all of us. And I don't feel that there's any reason to try to cover that up, just for, I don't know, algorithm's sake or whatever it is. But we all experience these things. We're all in the same boat. We're all trying to build whatever it is we're trying to build, for whatever reason, right? Something for your home, something for your family, something for whatever it is. We're all really trying to get to the same end result, to make something cool that suits whatever the need is. And it's not always perfect. Tammy also says, and I apologize if I ask too many questions. Don't want to be that annoying chatter. No, you're good. It's totally fine. That's what these lives are. We're hanging out. We're asking questions. We're talking about projects. We're, just kind of, sharing a little bit of life with each other. And I don't mind at all. Just don't ask for my address. Kidding. Hair Dude says, one option would be to sell it as a kit of hard parts and a set of STLs for those of us who can 3D print. That is one thing that I've kind of been trying to figure out. Do I just build a complete unit and then offer like a digital STL file set? I don't know. Do I just get all the pieces, put it in a bag, and you can assemble it? It's not a bad idea. What I would do is, I would offer maybe, I don't know. I don't know exactly. I thought about a digital package, that has the drilling, that has all the files, maybe the drilling guide STLs. Where is it? Like I have, this is a test one, but it's got indexed stuff, and you lay it on you line it up, and you'd be able to center punch your holes and drill out everything you need to drill out to mount this. Yeah, I'm still kicking around exactly how I want to do it, but I would like to do something because I feel like this is a pretty cool. I feel like it's a pretty cool thing, and just having these little guides, would make it pretty painless, really, to build a cool jig like this. Neptune says, I'll sell you his address. Don't worry, spam caller guy probably already did. Tanmay says, can you help me find my first time something to build in a small apartment other than the MIDI thing? I don't have any knowledge or tools, but watching you live, I'm very motivated. Right on. I guess you start look around your home and see what sort of thing, what do you need for your home, or what's something that maybe you might be kind of cool to make as a gift for a friend or for family or whatever. I don't know your exact situation or anything, so it's kind of hard for me to tell you, oh, you need to make this one specific thing, right? Because we're all in a different boat. We all have different situations and needs and wants, and so I can't really tell you exactly something to go and make. But what I do, and probably what a lot of us do, is we'll find a need around our home and say, I wish I had a little shelf to put something on, or I wish I had a place to hang my coat when I come inside the door. So a coat rack might be, or something with some hooks, right? Might be a cool project. And really, something like that would be pretty easy to make. You don't have to make it super fancy. You can get you a piece of wood from just about anywhere. Attach some hooks of some sort to it and hang it up on the wall, and there you go. Something like that. But I would just look around what your home, and just see, is there something that you could build. You're wanting to build a MIDI controller. I believe you said for your DAW program. Look at your desk. Is there something you can use for your desk? Maybe something to, I don't know, set your computer monitor on, or set your laptop on, or I don't know. I'm just kind of brainstorming a little bit, but that's what I would say. Just look around, as you're going about your day, and is there something that you could maybe build to make your life better. Wendy says, Tenmay, get a whittling knife and carve something. Yeah, carving is pretty cool. I haven't done much of it, but I have done a tiny bit years ago. Just be careful, don't cut yourself. But you can just take a little scrap of a tree branch, and you can just carve away. I mean, that could be something fun while you're, I don't know, maybe you're sitting on the patio or out in the yard, I don't know, and just enjoying the day, and you're carving away at something. Doesn't even have to, I don't know. That's a good idea. But anyway, guys, yeah, I think that's about a wrap on today's two-part Wednesday Live. Tenmay says, I used to watch wood turning videos all the time. It is so fascinating. Yeah, turning is cool. It's not something I have a ton of experience with, but I have done a little bit of it. And yeah, it's definitely, you can get a little small lathe and make pens. Pen making is cool. And that is something on my list, when I have space for a small lathe. Dallo says, I got to sleep. Have a good day. Right on, Dallo. Have a good one. I'm going to wrap this up here, too. I'm going to see if my 3D prints are done so that I can get to drilling holes and assembling a new binding jig. Wendy says, just making wood shavings is fun. Yeah, no matter what you're doing. I mean, just just working with wood and the smells, and it's yeah. Tammy says, thanks for the stream. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. Right on. Wendy says, see you around. Will do. Neptune says, Tan Man, get an Arduino, join programming electronics, also on YouTube. Ah, there you go. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button before you sign out of here. And hope you guys have an awesome remainder of your week. Hopefully, I'll get this video done for this weekend for the binding tower. Depends on how many more things I have to reprint. Maybe not be till the following week, but look for that coming up. Thanks a lot, guys. Stay safe. Take care. Have an awesome week. And we'll see you next time. Harry Dude says cheers. Got to go back to swearing at stuff. Right on, man. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.